Hello, my name is Dr. Maria Weber. I'm director of the Wiley Planetarium at Delta State University. We were supposed to have a planetarium show this week, but the universe had other plans for us. I still wanted to talk to you, though, about our theme for this week, the spring skies. In particular, this week we have the vernal equinox, or the spring equinox, the beginning of spring, on Thursday, March 19th. Equinox essentially means equal. On this day, we will have an equal amount of daylight and an equal amount of darkness. The sun will spend about 12 hours below the horizon and about 12 hours above the horizon. Over the course of the next few months, the sun will spend a longer and longer amount of time in the sky during the daytime until we reach the summer solstice in June. We often talk about how the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, but this is really the most true on the equinoxes. On those days, the sun does rise directly due east and sets directly due west.
Now, since we can't be in the planetarium for the foreseeable future, what we can do is I can show you how to use your computer to become a planetarium at home for yourself. And I'm going to walk through a few things here with you today. And I'm going to share the screen with you so you can see what I'm doing here. I am looking at a website called Stellarium. So I just typed in stellarium.org, and this will be the landing page here. And what you'll do is you'll click on where it says here, Stellarium Web, and then click on it there. Okay, and then it'll bring up Stellarium within your web browser. And so it looks like we're looking at what it is right now. There we go. And so it's found my location here, University Apartments, but you can click on there and you can change the location for wherever you are on the globe. And here we have our night sky above us. We've got the landscape surrounding us. Over here in this corner, I can click there and I can select the date and time so you can look at the sky at any day at any time. Also, right now I'm looking north, but you can click and drag and you can spin the world around and you can see the sky from a bunch of different angles. So you really do have your own little planetarium right here. All these little buttons down here will turn off and on constellations, the atmosphere, and other cool things that you can play around with that too if you want. Now, I've already set up a few things right here. I'm looking at the sky today, which is the first day of spring, the vernal equinox. And earlier in the video, I said that how, we talk about how the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, but this is really the most true on the equinoxes. And so if I progress this video a little bit further, or not the video, this planetarium software a little bit further, as we head towards sunset, we'll see that the sun is going to keep on dropping toward the horizon and it's going to set directly west. It looks like it's going to set behind this little bush right here in front of us. Okay, if I keep on going further, then it's going to set right there. Only directly due west again on any of our equinoxes, the spring equinox or the fall equinox. Now I want to show you a few interesting things that we can see in our springtime sky. And so we're going to move forward to nighttime, and I'm going to look at pretty much midnight. Let's go to almost midnight here, just slightly after midnight, and I want to look due south. And that's usually how our planetarium is set up, is have us looking due south. And if you're used to coming to planetarium shows with me, I always have south in front of us here. So now that we've reached the beginning of spring, and if I look due south at midnight, the thing that will be directly not directly overhead, but pretty close to directly overhead in our southern sky is the constellation Leo. Throughout the winter time, Orion was a pretty important constellation that was always present in our sky. We see here, now that we're up at midnight, Orion is no longer directly due south, but now it has come over here toward the horizon. And the reason why our constellations appear to move in our sky over the course of a whole year and in different seasons is because as our Earth progresses around the sun, our Earth faces different parts of our Milky Way galaxy. So in the wintertime, we tend to face a part of the galaxy that's more in the direction of the stars in Orion. And now that we're in springtime, our Earth has progressed around in its orbit around the sun and is looking off toward another part of our Milky Way, which is pointing off more toward the direction of stars that appear in our constellation Leo. So Leo is the lion. And if I can actually turn on our artwork here, so you can see what the artwork looks like inside Stellarium. A little bit different than how it looks in our planetarium, but we still have it there. Leo is my zodiac sign. I was born in August, and so here we have Leo directly overhead almost 6 months later. All right, now here's a few other cool things we can see in the sky. Also, I just wanted to mention one more thing here. Let's look back at Orion real quick. Orion, here we go. I've been talking about this star Betelgeuse right here in Orion. And all throughout the winter time, Betelgeuse was experiencing a decrease in its brightness, a sufficient decrease in its brightness. It went from being one of the brightest stars in our sky to being below one of the 25th brightest stars in the sky. But now Betelgeuse is ramping back up its brightness again, and it'll probably, well, we're not sure, but it's going to increase in its brightness, hopefully, over the course of the next few months, and so we'll see getting it brighter and brighter. And what it ends up doing is still kind of unknown, but we will be looking for that in the next few months. So it's getting brighter and brighter again. Now let me go back to our southern sky here, looking directly in front of us. And just to point out a few other interesting things that we can see over the course of the next few days. Now on Friday morning, March 20th in the morning, if I progress just a little bit further to pre-dawn, we will see that Mars will be joining Jupiter in the sky. If we look over between, what is this here? Between south and east. Now, it's a little bit hard to see. We have Jupiter here. Mars is behind here, is kind of a little bit covered up by Jupiter. I'm going to remove my atmosphere by clicking this button and let it progress just a little bit further past sun up. And I'm going to zoom in on this area right here. Actually, let me search for Mars so that we can zoom in on it a little bit better. There we go. Now I'm going to zoom in, and now we can see here that Jupiter is going to be very close to Mars in the sky on Friday morning, March 20th. No, so now let's look at something else that's pretty interesting that happens this week. If I go to March 24th here, I'll go forward this way. And if I look in the pre-dawn hours, so we're gonna back out to the pre-dawn hours here. There we go. We will see, let me turn south here. Well, there's Saturn and Jupiter and Mars right there next to it. I've turned off the atmosphere here. Now I'm going to turn off the atmosphere here. Okay, and so then that means that if I turn off the atmosphere in Stellarium, that we're able to see the sun along with all the background stars and planets during the daytime. The reason why we don't really usually see the background stars during the daytime is because the sun's light is so bright that light is coming in through our atmosphere and scattering through our atmosphere and keeping us from being able to see the stars beyond. So now I've removed the atmosphere just by clicking this little button right here. And if I go further a little bit more, then we start to see Mercury coming up and the sun. So on March 24th, Mercury achieves something that we call its greatest elongation. And so on this day, this is the day when Mercury appears to be the farthest away from the sun in the sky. So Mercury is our innermost planet. It's going to be orbiting around the sun, but because Mercury is so close to the sun, we never see Mercury get further away than about 28 degrees from the sun. Now on this same day in the evening time, as we go toward dusk, we will see another planet achieve its greatest elongation. So now I'm progressing forward to around dawn. Now the sun has moved from its location in the east to its location in the west. If I come over here and look in the west to just about as the sun is setting here, I went the wrong way, we will see Venus right here. And on this day in the evening time, Venus achieves its greatest elongation. And because Venus is the second planet out from the sun, Venus's greatest elongation is bigger than Mercury's greatest elongation. And so Venus gets as far away as 46 degrees from the sun, and Venus achieves this greatest elongation, this greatest angular distance away from the sun on the morning time of, the evening time of March 24th, as compared to Mercury, which on this same day achieved its greatest elongation of 28 degrees in the morning of this day. So that's kind of a cool thing, and we can see these great elongations of our innermost planets, Mercury and Venus, because we are the third planet out from the sun. And so I encourage you to play around with Stellarium so that you can see what's up in the sky at any day, at any time. Maybe check out what was the sky like on your birthday or any special event in your life. So while we're all trying to cope with the new situation that the universe has thrown upon us, I'll try to put out some astronomy videos like this to replicate at least somewhat the feeling that we had in our planetarium. So I hope to see you all back at Wiley Planetarium, maybe later on in the springtime or in the summer for sure.